to female trans woman, and I'm doing a video. Actually, tomorrow is my birthday, so I'm doing a little happy birthday to me video. I'm going to be 54 years old, which to me, I can't envision being that age now. I feel much younger, and since I started transitioning from male to female, I've never been happier. And I feel that the hormones I take, Estradiol and spironolactone, the anti-testosterone medication, certainly has helped me to feel younger and to make me look a lot more female. And I could not have expected such wonderful results, so I'm very pleased to be able to pass as a female and to be treated like a woman. It's one of the most exciting aspects of my life, aside from my son's birth. I knew I was transgender since I was 3. I didn't know, obviously, the term transgender, but I knew I identified as a girl back when I was just a little boy. And I started dressing in girls' clothes at that young of an age, and I continued to do so. I cross-dressed in my youth, throughout my teenage years, into my 20s, 30s, 40s, and now I live full-time as a female. I started my transition approximately 2.5 years ago when I went on hormone replacement therapy. And as I said, I'm on Estradiol, which is the female equivalent of estrogen. And I'm on spironolactone, which is a testosterone blocker. And I feel that those pills that I take has tremendously changed my body, and also has affected my feelings, how I perceive things, and I'm excited. I've always wanted to live as a female, and I'm very happy that I finally came to accept being transgender. And I'm just ecstatic. Words can't express how happy I am. And I still have a wonderful relationship with my son. We do a lot of things together. I miss him when he's away at school. He's in a special school for autistic children. And I just feel happy when he's home. We go out a lot. We generally like to see movies together, go out for pizza, and just enjoy each other's company. And I love those times when my son is home. I recently drove up on Thursday to pick him up. It was a long drive. It took about 6 hours. But it was enjoyable, and I do like to drive. I love going on road trips. I always have. Something about driving and listening to good music is very peaceful. And then when I picked him up, it was nice because I had my son with me. We had a nice time driving home together. And we enjoyed stopping to eat along the way. And I'm sad that my son will be going back on Monday. So he just had a little time home this time, but he'll be back in February, which is good. And he's very accepting of my transitioning to become a female. He's very understanding and sympathetic, and he's a good kid. And I think being autistic, he has a lot of warmth towards me, and he believes that I'm very courageous and that I'm only doing what I felt I have to do, which is true. I was very depressed when I hit 50, and I was still living as a male at 50 years old, and I was very depressed. I had lost my dad 2 years earlier to suicide, and then a very close friend of mine died 2 years later, and he was actually the one who helped me through my dad's tragic suicide. And when I went to his wake, my friend's wake, he was only 40. He left behind a wife and a baby girl. I was devastated, and it affected me. And I had to go back for therapy. I was going on and off for therapy due to my transgender struggles and my depression. And the first time I went for therapy was when I lost my mom. She's gone now 25 years, God rest her soul. And my dad now approximately 5 years ago. God rest his soul. And the one good thing is that my son got to meet his grandpa, and they had some wonderful times together, and it was fun. They had many pleasant times. We would drive to the Verrazano Bridge where my dad worked many years earlier, and those are precious times you never forget. I never told my parents about my transgender struggles, so I actually started my transition late in life. I was 51 when I realized that I need to transition from male to female, and I started really going to therapy and doing a lot of soul searching and trying to figure out the best way to do this. It was very hard to come out to my wife, my son, my family. Obviously, I had to come out to the employer where I worked, and that didn't go well. I wound up losing my job. Then I took on another job, and I was only there for 7 months before they let me go. And then all of the medical problems came about. I had a nervous breakdown, and I was brought to Bellevue Hospital, where I spent 2 weeks.
World Trade Center.
And I've been going in and out of hospitals many times for depression and suicide ideation, but and even most recently today the cops came and took me to the hospital because I'm struggling paying my mortgage, and I'm behind, and I'm afraid that the bank will foreclose. But
Stuart's fake parents.
my son is in the background. He's on the computer, and he's watching Stuart Little, which he loves. But yeah, the police are my friends. They care about me. They worry. They certainly don't want me to commit suicide. They know I'm transgender, and they are very accommodating and very accepting, so I'm very fortunate. And I started to become friends with the police officers, and they treat me with kid gloves, and yeah, I'm very fortunate. And the doctors and the nurses at the hospital know me now because I've been there many times. I'm hoping that I will overcome my depression and get my finances in order. Certainly want to get the mortgage paid off up to date so I don't have to worry about these harassing calls. But you know, just take it one day at a time. Tomorrow I'm going to try to enjoy the day since it is my birthday. And I just can't believe how fast time flies. I remember when I was in my 20s. Now I'm going to be 54. And you know, I lived as a male for a long time in my life. And I always knew, though, that I was a female. So that was a very hard thing to reconcile with. I'm much happier dressing and living as a woman 24/7. And I definitely understand what transgender people go through because I live that every day. I certainly know what it's like for my son struggling with his own issues, and I'm there for him. I love him. And I just want to do the best I can as a parent. Despite the fact that I'm transitioning to become a woman, I still am my son's father, and I always will be. I'm doing the things that I need to do for my own peaceful sense of myself and my inner happiness. I started taking voice lessons because I definitely need to change my voice from male to female. And I find the teacher that I see is very helpful. She's teaching me techniques, which is good. And she has me say the Pledge of Allegiance, where I have to enunciate and say every line as if it's a question. Like, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Those are the beginning techniques, but I'm trying to integrate everything, so over time, hopefully, I will develop a female voice. I have to learn the proper breathing techniques because my voice teacher or coach told me that we're used to breathing incorrectly, believe it or not. We're supposed to breathe from down here as opposed to up here, and the main difference between a female voice range and a male voice range is the resonance. Resonance makes all the difference. It's not the pitch as much as the resonance. So it's taken me some time, and I've also watched YouTube videos with trans women who offer their own experiences in how they speak and how they retrain their voice, and I find it very interesting. And I particularly enjoy watching the videos of trans women who actually show the difference between their female voice and how they used to sound as a male, and it is extraordinary, the differences. I was shocked when I heard some of the voices on the video between their male and their female counterpart, their female and their male counterpart. And hopefully in 3 to 6 months I'll be more feminine in the way I speak. And it's not just the way you sound, it's the way you carry yourself in conversation. Women speak a lot more with ups, and men are more monotone, whereas women fluctuate and they have a more happier quality to their voice. Men speak deeper, women speak higher, and it's very fascinating to learn how, the difference. The tone isn't really all that much different, believe it or not, but the way men and women express themselves is quite different. And I was very impressed with my teacher. She's a singer. She also was a recording artist. So I found her actually on the internet. The only drawback is when you're transitioning, everything seems to be expensive. I have electrolysis treatments, which cost me $75 an hour, which is quite expensive. And I have, actually it's not 75, it's $70 an hour, which still is expensive. And my voice lessons are $65 a half hour. That's quite expensive. I can only do half-hour sessions. And the hormone pills, luckily I just got recently approved for Estradiol, where I don't have to pay the extra amount because of my gender. They originally labeled me male gender taking female hormones, and they were charging me the full price. But I spoke to them on the phone, the health insurance, and now they allow me to get the hormones at the discounted price because they understand my gender dysphoria. And I see doctors on a regular basis. I go to therapists, I go to psychiatrists. I'm in between Beth Israel Hospital and National University Medical Center. And I have very good doctors. They are very concerned for me. One of my, actually my therapist and psychiatrist at Beth Israel are not writing my letters yet. I definitely want to have surgery with Dr. Marci Bowers, but they're not ready quite yet to write my letter, which kind of makes me sad. But I also go to Callan Lord, where my doctor has already given me clearance for the gender reassignment surgery, and I'm actually meeting on Tuesday with the staff psychiatrist, and from what I understand, all I need to do is an hour session with them, and they know my history, so they're going to write me a letter from the psychiatrist's point of view, which I'm all excited about. And I came across an online therapist where I go for like 6 online sessions, and they'll write my letter also, and they charge $50 per session for the hour and $100 for the letter. So I'm kind of excited about that because then I'll have my letters in place. I already filled out the application for the SRS, and if anyone's going to do it, I want Dr. Marci Bowers too. She has a very good reputation, and she's also a trans woman, so she knows what it's like. So I'm very excited. I am friends with her on Facebook. Actually, her birthday is tomorrow also. So I wish Marci Bowers, Dr. Marci Bowers, MD, a wonderful, happy birthday, January 18th. And myself, I'm also born on January 18th. I was born on January 18th, 1961. I'm the son. I was born a boy, even though I identify as a girl. But my parents, my loving parents, God rest their souls, Edward Donald Iannielli Jr. and Catherine Teresa Donovan Iannielli. And I was born Edward D. Iannielli III. And I'm doing a legal name change to have my name from Edward Donald Iannielli III to Emily Denise Iannielli.
Denise.
Yeah, my son approves. I love that name, Emily Denise.
Denise is a nice name.
And what else is new in my life? I am making good friends with other transgender people. I have a lot of trans women friends, and I also have a lot of trans men friends. And I also have had friends on Facebook who flatter me, and I'm not used to that. They think I look nice, and they send me nice little emoticons, little stickers, I guess they're called. I still haven't figured out how you do them, but I find it nice to get that attention. I'm pretty shy though, so I'm not used to that. And I am very lucky to be able to transition. I really, to be honest with you, never thought that it would be possible for me. I admit that I started my transition much later in life, and you know, a lot of people are affected by it. The one thing I realized is that I know who my true friends are. people who I thought were true friends abandoned me. And I feel it's their loss, not mine. And, you know, if they abandoned me, then they weren't really true friends. And people who I thought were going to possibly go astray actually are my strongest supporters. So it's ironic how things turn out sometimes. And I have one close friend that we travel together on occasion. We actually went last year at New Year's to meet a band that I love, Dream Aria. We went up to Toronto. We drove up and we enjoyed their company. We stayed with them on New Year's Eve. And they were planning to do a show, but the show got canceled. So we were lucky to spend New Year's Eve with them. That wasn't this past New Year's Eve, that was the previous one. And I'm friends with Anne on Facebook. She's the lead vocalist. And this is just my little barrette that I'm playing with. I happen to be a very nervous person. I have a lot of anxiety, depression. I haven't been working in quite some time, so I feel anxious a lot. You know, I live full-time as a woman, 24/7, so I'm very happy about that. And I think it would be nice if I could get back out working and living my life, but, you know, I'm on disability, so I'm trying to make ends meet, and I'm trying to catch up on the mortgage. But, you know, I can only do one thing at a time. I have to live in the moment. You know, I know there are people out there that care about me. I was on the phone with the mortgage company today, and I said something I shouldn't have said, but I was very depressed. And the police wound up calling my cell phone. I was still driving home, and they said, you have to come home now. So I was scared, but I came home. And they were waiting for me, and they asked me what happened. And they took me off in the ambulance and brought me to Nassau University Medical Center. And I spent about 8 hours there. I actually fell asleep, which was good because I needed the rest. And then I spoke to a nice Filipino nurse who complimented me. And she said I looked just like a woman. And the funny thing was, she said, I hope you don't take this as a criticism, but I think you look like a beautiful woman, and she made my day. I felt so happy hearing that. You know, I didn't expect it, but it made me feel good. And she thought I was very pretty, and she loved my dress, and she was very nice to me. And luckily she released me. Certainly I wouldn't have wanted to be in the hospital on my birthday. And since my son is home, I certainly wanted to be here for him. So tomorrow I get to buy a birthday cake and have my family hopefully sing happy birthday. Maddie, you want to come here and sing happy birthday to me? Okay. I'm gonna introduce my son to you. His name is Maddie. Grab a chair. And Maddie is, how old are you, Maddie?
16.
Don't be shy. And how long are you home for?
For about 3 to 4 days.
Okay, you want to sing happy birthday to me?
Happy birthday.
Look into the camera, huh? Don't
Ready?
be shy.
1, 2,
3. Go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emily. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
Thank you. I love you, Maddie.
Yeah.
So what are you watching?
Stuart Little 1.
That's one of your favorite movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, my son loves Stuart Little. That's with Michael J. Fox?
Yeah, that's the voice of Stuart.
Stuart, and what is the little boy's name?
George.
George.
Jonathan Lipnicki.
Oh, you know his actor. You know his name?
Yeah.
Wow, he's a grown kid now.
Yeah, he's like more than 30 now.
He looks like a rock person, somebody in the rock music industry.
You saw the new him?
Yeah, he totally looks different.
Yeah.
But so what do you like about being home from school now?
It's nice.
Yeah, do you like to go out to the movies with me and get pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you also like, what's your favorite store?
Walmart and Target.
Yeah. What do you like to get when you go to those stores?
DVDs and Blu-rays.
Yeah.
And sometimes some electronics and office supplies.
Yeah. You're a very smart kid.
Yeah.
And how is school going for you?
Good.
Yeah. And who's your teacher?
I go to a school upstate.
Yeah. What's the name of the school?
My teacher in school is Miss Brown.
Okay. And what's the name of the school?
Hillside.
And how long does it take to drive up there?
6 to 7 hours.
That's a long time, right? How long is it?
What?
How long a drive? 6 hours, you said, right?
Yeah, about.
Wow. Yeah, when I drove up there, it took me 6 hours. So I talk to Maddie every day, basically. I call him. And I just want him to do well. I care very much for him. And is there anything else you want to say before you go back to your movie?
Hello.
Don't be shy.
This is my dad, Mom. I call her Dom.
That's right. Yeah. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
I love my son. He's a sweetheart. Right? High five. Yeah. Okay, you want to go back to your movie, sweetie?
Okay, bye.
Bye, Maddie. Love you. Thank
See you later.
Thank you. So there's my son. He's a wonderful kid. He's 16 now.
What time is sleeping?
Time flies. I wonder
What time is sleeping?
when
What time?
he was born, you know, how he was going to look when he grew up. And now I'm so happy. He's a wonderful kid, and I couldn't be more proud of him. I find that it's nice when you establish a good friendship with your child. I think that's important, and I view my son as my best friend, basically. He's a wonderful kid, and I'm just lucky to have him in my life. I'm certainly happier to be with family than to be alone, and I never thought it would be possible when I was younger. I was extremely shy as a kid growing up, and I struggled with my gender, and I never really dated. I was extremely shy of girls, painfully shy, and I had very few male friends, but somehow I made it. I sometimes wonder how. When I was in my early teenage years, when I was struggling with my gender dysphoria, I always thought that I would probably never see the age of 30. So now that I'm turning 54 tomorrow, it's quite a surprise.